Hi, very good evening. I could see 28 students have joined so far. We shall wait for some more time, maybe another 5 minutes or 5 to 6 minutes, then we can start the session.
Can you hear me? I hope it's audible now. All right. It's already 11 minutes, so it's better to start then. So, very good evening to all. This session is about typically explaining or briefing about the AMCAT exam. So, just a heads up. So, let me introduce myself. I'm Swati, and I'll be the trainer for today. And I have 10 years experience in IT. I'm a cybersecurity engineer, so that's about my profession. Apart from that, I train students technical and also related to recruitment. So today we'll be learning or we'll be knowing more detailing with respect to the recruitment process. What are different steps or different stages? How to prepare for those particular content, and what should be the preparation, how to prepare, and what will be the limitations while doing a preparation, what to study, what not to cover. So we'll be learning all these. So I could see 87 students, I mean 86 students so far. So I think it's a good number. I can start. All right, and so uh, one expectation. So I know that obviously you cannot ask a question since you cannot speak over this line. So whenever you have any, if you get any doubt in between, any questions in between, I request you to ping in the chat window because I'll be having a look over that as well. So we can clear the doubt then and there instead of keeping it till the end. Okay, that's one expectation from my side. Fine then. So let's start today's session. Let me share the screen. Just give me a minute. Just let me know once you're able to see the screen. Okay, thank you. It's visible. So when it comes to AMCAT, so definitely the first question comes as, what will be the different content or what will be the different topics that we need to study on or we need to master over so that we can easily clear this test or the exam, right? So the reason why we running this brief through the AMCAT is, so it is one of such exam, or it is one of such test which basically covers, or it defined basically with the analytical problem solving, reasoning, implications. In other words, what I can say is, in order to judge, or in order to monitor, or in order to gauge the analytical skill set of a student who is trying to apply for a recruitment. It may be any role, it may be a software developer role, or it may be a testing engineer role, or it may be a network engineer role, or even for that reason it can be a MBA manager role. So any person who is trying to be, or who wants to be a part of any MNC with a particular skill set. So these skill set are defined, and these skill set are uh, definitely proposed in terms of a test or an exam. So we will be learning more in detail with respect to that. And this is nothing but, AMCAT is Aspiring Minds Computer Adaptive Test, and this is purely AI based computer adaptive test, and which evaluates the job applicants on critical areas, like as I told you, the communication skill set, logical reasoning, the quants, and the job specific domain skills also. So, in other words, it helps the recruiters to identify the suitability of a candidate for a different job role. So, the good score in AMCAT is, for out of 100, anything more than 550 to 600 is definitely a good score. Okay. So, and it is mandate that it should be minimum of 550 in both compulsory and the optional modules. It is considered as to be good. So there is no particular eligibility criteria to take the AMCAT, but however, the graduation students, all engineering uh, students also, and BBM, BCA students can also take a AMCAT exam. You can get a number of materials online, offline, in order to download or in order to search for. So the AMCAT exam fee will be, of course, 1,100, and you can book your AMCAT. So once this particular certifications you have, right? So the question is like, is it only for freshers, right? Is it for a freshers, or a professional or experienced? So obviously, when you are experienced or a professional, you search for a particular job, and it may be limited to certain job portals. But when you have an AMCAT certification, and it is for both freshers and experience, okay, it is not only for freshers, it is for both. And these candidates can get job through AMCAT job, that is a portal. So the question may be like, whether AMCAT going to help me or help to get a job. So AMCAT, of course, it provides the job opportunities based on your AMCAT score. So with the score, definitely you can try for a number of companies with respect to particular domain that you look for. So since I already told you, this is an online test, online exam, and it is a AI based. So everything is evaluated with a machine learning or a artificial intelligence based. So the maximum score, whoever scores, for engineers typically above 450 is a good score. For a graduates, it is above 400. For a MBA, 425. But we still say above 500 is a good score to get through any company. And now we will see what are the different modules we will be having through in AMCAT. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me share that screen for you before solving the questions. I hope you're able to see the screen. So, as already we told about the introduction, so you'll be having two different uh, pattern, I could say, the subjects, the compulsion one and the optional one. So let's see about the English module first. So this particular English module, it evaluates written English skills aimed at determining the candidate's ability to understand, of course, the writing, speaking, and the listening skills. Okay. So when we say writing, speaking, and listening skills, so with the written text, spoken word, and the ability to communicate effectively through written documents. So, when it comes to the profiles, this module will be relevant for almost all profiles such as the consulting, HR, IT, sales, management. So, all these profiles can definitely try for this. Okay. And there will be 18 questions with respect to this English and 18 minutes. And detailed syllabus will be, if you want, you can make a note of this, or else I can just give this link to you so that you can refer. So the syllabus follows, especially the verbal part I'm telling. So when we say the verbal part, right? So the first thing, of course, the parts of speech. After the parts of speech, you will be having questions based on vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, contextual vocabulary, grammar. So grammar is nothing but articles, preposition, parts of speech, error identification, sentence improvement and sentence correction, construction, reading comprehension. So all these are part of verbal aptitude or the English module. Okay. When it comes to quants, the quantitative ability. In the quantitative ability, this module is ideal to evaluate the numerical ability of an individual. So, I already told this exam or this test is typically designed or defined in order to understand the problem solving, analytical skill set, reasoning, logical thinking of a student to hire for a particular role. And having said that, when it comes to the quants, right, the quants are nothing but the mathematical questions. So these maths are based on your school days and your high school days. Definitely you would have solved these number of questions in your school days. And when I say school days, of course it is high school days and PU days syllabus. So the questions based on profit loss, probability, permutation and combination, time, distance, speed formulas, that is TDS formulas, and the train formulas. So all these are part of quants. Apart from that, you'll be having the basic mathematics, divisibility, HCF, LCM, numbers, decimal numbers or decimal fractions, questions on power, applied maths, profit loss, simple and compound interest, time, speed and distance, inverse, engineering mathematics, logarithms, permutation, combination, and the probability. So all these are part of quants or the quantitative aptitude or a module. And this will be for number of questions 16 and the minutes will be 20 minutes. Okay. So far we have covered for 16 plus 18 questions, 20 plus 18 minutes, 38 minutes. The next topic is a logical ability, and this is 2021 syllabus. Okay. With respect to logical ability, so this particular module access or it assess capacity of an individual to interpret things objectively, to be able to perceive and interpret trends, to make the typical generalization and be able to analyze assumptions behind an argument or a statement. So ideally, When we say the logical thinking or a logical reasoning or a verbal analogy question, so when we say the logic side, right, these questions are not drafted or defined on terms of basic formulas or basic fundamentals of any concept. These questions are typically defined or drafted to understand how exactly a person can, think and reason about a question and look for all possible options. So if you give a particular logic, right, you can define or justify your answers. It's not necessary that, um, for example, if I want to quote an question for you, like we say, right, 2 plus 2 is always equal 4 in maths. So you just cannot give any different logic to say that 2 plus 2 can be 3, isn't it? But in logical questions, if a logic is right, you can prove that 2 plus 2 cannot be 4 always with a given condition. So the logical thinking is nothing but it it's an ability to reason for any question, or reason the particular topic or a subject, and define and do the analysis and give an argument about a statement. Okay, so that defines the logical ability. And these logical ability, the number of questions will be 12, and mode of duration, I mean, you will get 15 minutes. So ideally we have covered 18, 18, that is for a verbal aptitude. Then we have defined 16, 20 for a quantitative aptitude. Now the logical, that is 12, 15, that is for a logical aptitude. So 18 minutes, 18 questions, verbal aptitude. 16 questions, 20 minutes, quantitative aptitude. 12 questions, 15 minutes, logical aptitude or logical questions. Okay. And the syllabus of these logical section or logical thinking or logical ability or logical reasoning, the syllabus follows this way, or the syllabus includes deduct- deductive reasoning, coding, decoding, data sufficiency, directional sense, logical word sequence, objective reasoning, selection decision tables, puzzles, inductive reasoning, analogy, pattern recognition, classification pattern recognition, coding pattern, number series pattern. So, all these are part of logical ability. Any doubts so far? Any questions? Just let me know. Okay, we shall continue. So after this, the next part. So quantitative ability again. So this is also numerical ability of an individual and available in technical. So this module will be relevant for almost all profiles, as already I mentioned. And this will be number of questions 14 and duration will be 20. And the questions will be basic numbers, decimal, applied maths, problem interest, inverse, profit loss, speed distance, word problems, number theory, HCF and LCM. And finally, information gathering and synthesis. This is one of the interesting section which is a part of AMCAT. And this particular section, right? This checks whether candidate is able to locate relevant info and order and classify data, interpret the graphs, charts, tables, make sure that based on the deductions or the info given, the information and data could be presented in any format. It can be a text, numbers, tables, and figure. So, depending on this particular data gathering and synthesis, this is typically called gathering and synthesis because they will give a certain data to you and they expect you to do the analysis part and synthesis part typically and explain about the given figure. For example, uh, yes, the detailed syllabus I'll explain. Before that, it will be 12 number of questions and minutes you will get 15. Okay. And when it comes to syllabus, it will be based on data interpretation, information ordering, information processing. So these are the three different sections that can be, that can be part of gathering and synthesis. And depending on these, you can expect 12 questions. Understood with the gathering and the synthesis part? So here the question can be, what exactly data interpretation refers to, right? Let's take an example of the census results. The question can be simple as, it can be anything, okay? It's not necessary that it should be technical, it should be non technical, or it should be artistic. No, it creative, it can be of any form. Like, for example, they will give certain data of particular report or particular um, survey. It can be anything. Just imagine or just assume you have a question stating that on a particular survey they have found out the 40% of women and 60% of men are part of the country, and out of that 15% of women and 35% of men are part of taxable income, and out of they're part of employment, and out of 15 you can have 3%, and out of 35 you can have 15% who are part of taxable income. And with this stats, they wanted to understand what will be the taxpayers of particular state. They may give population of that state, they may give the percentages. So they expect you to calculate and give out the final result. So you have to do the analysis, you have to do the synthesis. So synthesis will be worked on formulas, it will be worked on the numbers they have given, And definitely you will use the logic as well in order to define the numbers. Then you can finally find out the final answer. So the data interpretation, information ordering, information processing is part of synthesis and analysis. The last part is AMPI. This module does an overall personality assessment of a candidate, and it is used to assess candidates in people interaction and people management roles. So, number of questions 90, module duration 20 minutes. AMPI is based on five factor model. That is, it measures five broad based threats. The first one is the extraversion. The second one is the consciousness, neuroticism, openness to experience, agreeableness. So, these are the five different sections or five different parts of this AMCAT test. Any doubts with any of this? Any one of that, which I explain now? So we should quickly solve some of the questions based on these topics. Okay. I'll give the link, one particular link. This link is, I mean, you can Google whenever you're free. It is more appropriate, I could say, because it covers entire syllabus of the AMCAT. Let me share the screen. Just let me know once you're able to see the screen. I hope you're able to see the screen. Right. So now we have already seen what are the different subject, or I mean, what are the different topics that will be part of NTT AMCAT test. So now we'll solve a couple of them to understand the given data, to understand the methods and formulas to apply. Okay. Let's start with the logic section first. So I have given the first question. It is depending on the number series. It can be either part of logic or it can be part of the quants. Okay. And this is a numerical problem. If you look at the series there, you have 2, 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4. The series continues. What number should come next? Okay. So ideally we have 4 options. We have to choose the right one which should come the next. Okay, I could see people started pinging 1 by 8. Any answers? Any other answers? Option B. Okay. See, if you look at the series there, option B is the right answer. That's correct. Because you have 2, 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4. Right? If you divide by 2 for entire series, like 4 by 2 is 2, 2 by 2 is 1, 1 by 2, then you have got 1 by 4. It continues to 1 by 8. So option B is the right answer. Okay. Any doubts, any questions with the first question? For anyone? I hope you understood with the question and the pattern. Let's see the second series. We have the second question. The series 7, 10, 8, 11, 9, 12. 7, 10, 8, 11, 9, 12. The right answer is yes, it's 10.
What's wrong?
So 10 is the right answer. Let's see the next question. Look at the series. We have got 36, 34, 30, 28, 24. What's the right option? Excuse me. I could see option B, 22, ping by many. Yes, that's the right answer. Because, see, if you look at the series, the alternating number subtraction, right? If you look at 36, 30, 34, 28, 30, 24, so 28, 22, it makes the combination. So 22 is the right answer. Let's go for the next question. The next series, we have got 22, 21, 23, 22, 24, 23. What's the right option? The right answer, it's 25. Let's solve the last question of number series. We can go to the next topic. Look at the series 53, 53, 40, 40, 27, 27. What will be the next number? So the right option is yes, it is 14. If you look at the series, the numbers are repeated. And if you look at the relation between first number and the second number, it is 13. 53 minus 13, 40. 40 minus 13, 27. So 27 minus 13, you get 14. It's the right answer. Let's go for the next section. We have got the next section, that is verbal classification, which is also part of NTT and AMCAT. The first question, which word doesn't belong with the other one, or the which one is the odd man out here? We have got the options: parsley, basil, dill, manus. So which one is the odd man out, or the verbal classification? So you might have heard mayonnaise. You might have heard even parsley. So even and basil also, right? You can try understanding the difference between or identifying the relation between these given options. Yes, D is the right answer because the first three are herbs where the mayonnaise is not. So option D is the right one. The next we have got which doesn't belong with the others: inch, ounce, centimeter, yard. What's the right answer? It's easy one. Yes, it's option B because it measures the weight, the rest measures the length. Option B. Which word does not belong with the others? Tire, steering wheel, engine, car. Let's see who will answer this. Okay, I could see both B and D. Okay, D more. Yes, D is the right answer because all three are parts of car and car is not the right. The car is a wholesome and other three are the parts of car. So that's how you can eliminate car. Which word doesn't belong with the others? You have got rose, tulip, bud, daisy. It's easy. It's not B. Yes, bud is the right answer. Which word doesn't belong with others? Ray, sourdough, pumpernickel, and the loaf. You might have heard about loaf bread. Sourdough is also one of way of preparing the bread just by doing the fermenting and all. The right option is Ray, the first option, which is basically a cereal, not the bread that they're speaking of. The other three are types of bread. The option A is the odd man out. Let's go with letter and symbol, the next section. So this is easiest one. I'll give 2 minutes. Just try for 1 and 2 both and ping the answers. Yes, VIJC as C is the right answer. Let's go for next one. Check for second question. Okay, for second question. B is the right answer. Any doubts with the question so far, whatever we have covered? You can ping. You can try for third question. Okay, so D. Just look into the options, and the series. You have got F, G, H, I. So what will be the next one? It is J, right? And you have got two options with J. JAK, JAI. So if you look at the second um, series, that is A common. So A remains the same. Then you have got G, F, I, H. So the right option is K. So JAK, Jack is the right one. Yes. Look for the next question and ping the answer. For two questions, I'll give 2 minutes. Just try answering both. Okay, I could see option B, D both. For the fourth one, option D, KLLA is the right answer. And for sixth one, ISS is the right answer. Let's see the next question. You have got the 11th question, that is QAR. RASSATTAU. Just look into the options and pick the right answer. The right answer is UAV. Let's take the next question. DEF, DEF2, DE2F2 dash D2E2F3. What will be the right answer? Yes, it is D2E2F2. Correct. Let's take the next section. So next section we have got is analogies. So we have a first question, that is odometer is to mileage as compass is to. It's easy. I hope you'll guess. Yes, it is D, direction. Marathon is to race, has hibernation is to dash. It refers to which option? Yes, option D, sleep. You have to make sure dream and sleep are not synonyms. Okay. First thing, dream and sleep both are more of like a analogs, that they both are interrelated. But however, sleep is the right, not the dream. So the next question, analogies. Window is to pain. Sorry, window is to pan, as book is to. It is made of actually pans. So book is to novel, gloss, cover, page. It's easy. Yes, option D is the right answer. Guys, just let me know, okay? If you get any doubts, I'll give the explanation. Right now, I am just trying to solve more number of questions. If you don't understand the reason behind the question, just ping about the particular question, okay? The next one, cup is to coffee, as bowl is to. Yes, option B, soup is the right answer. Compared to dish, soup is more preferable or more appropriate. So, food, we cannot just generalize the analogy when we have a soup option. So, soup is the right one. It's B. So, you have to look for the right analogy, okay? That's it. The next one, yard is to inch, as squat is to dash. It's D. Ounce is the right answer. The next question we have got, artist is to painting, as senator is to dash. The right answer, it is law. Senator is basically related with the law. Okay. The next one, exercise is to gym as eating is to food, dieting, fitness, restaurant. Let's see. Food is to fitness. No, that's not. The right answer is restaurant, because see, if you go to gym, of course you're going for an exercise. Restaurant for eating purpose. Here the analogy is the purpose. Okay. The last question, candid is to indirect as honest is to. Here it actually the opposite words, or you can say the antonyms are referred. So the right one is untruthful. The next we have got one more section, that is with respect to essential part. The first question, harvest. Each question has an underlined word followed by four answer choices. Actually, you have to choose the right one. The necessary part of the underlined word, you have to look for the right option. The first one, harvest or the harvesting. What's the right answer? Crop. Yes. The next question, desert. For desert, what's the right answer? It is actually option B, arid, because if you look at the options, cactus, oasis, flat, and arid. So, see, if you can just try to imagine, or uh, yeah, imagine desert. The desert is definitely not a flat land, or it is not completely. Yes, cactus or oasis are still part of desert, but it is a tract of the arid tract. Probably that is how we define the desert. The next one, book. You have got four options: fiction, pages, pictures, learning. Which option is the more appropriate one? The right answer is the pages. Because fiction pictures learning, though they're part of it, the essential part is the pages. So here we are looking for the necessary part or the essential part of the underlined word. Okay. The next one, language. So what is the essential part of the language? Is it tongue, slang, writing words? It's easy. For a language, it is option number D, that is the words. It is the essential part of it. The next question, school. What is the essential part of the school? Is it student report card, test, learning? Which among four is the right option? The right answer is student. Of course, right? Without the students, we cannot even think of school. So let's move to the different section now. The next, let's okay, let's do a different section. We see we have got so many sections in order with logical. Let's pick the analyzing arguments. No, it will take time for you to understand. Maybe. Okay. See, this particular section, statement and conclusion. In each question below is there will be a statement followed by two conclusions numbered 1 and 2nd. You have to assume everything in the statement to be true and consider two conclusions together. You'll have options. You have to select the appropriate one or the more accurate one. Let's see the first question. In a day or in a 1 day cricket match, total runs made by team were 200. Out of these, 160 were made by spinners. Conclusion, 80 of the team consist of spinners. Opening batsmen were spinners. You have option, only conclusion 1 follows, only conclusion 2 follows, either 1 or 2 follows, neither 1 nor 2 follows, both 1 and 2 follows. Read the statement and look at the options. See, the best way of answering these statement and conclusion is understanding the first and second part of the question. Divide the question into two parts. Okay, treat two parts equally, because if you look at the conclusions, you can easily understand 80% of the team consists of spinners, because you can come to this conclusion depending on the conclusion given in the second statement. Out of 160 runs were made by spinners. Out of 200, 160 were made by spinners. So Understand the last two statement and the options. And let me see what will be your answers. Then I'll try to guide you how to derive these answers. So, if you look at the conclusion, I mean the sentence and the conclusion both, the option D appears to be the most appropriate one because see 160 runs were made by spinners and option 1 says not the option 1, the first condition conclusion says 80% of the team consists of spinners, which cannot be true in a real term, isn't it? 80% of any team cannot be spinners. The opening batsmen were spinners. So, where, in other words, what it may be 3 or 4 batsmen, the opening batsmen. So, the option D appears to be more appropriate one compared to option A. Because if you look at the sentence, it says 80% of the total runs were made by the spinners. So, the first conclusion doesn't follow that, and nothing about the opening batsman specified in the question or the conclusion. So, second also doesn't follow. Let's see the next question. Next statement. Government has spoiled many top-ranking financial institutions by appointing bureaucrats as directors of these institutions. Conclusion. Government should appoint directors of the financial institutes taking into consideration the expertise of a person in the area of finance. Director of the financial institute should have expertise commensurate with the financial work carried out by the institute. So you have got options. You need to look for the best one. Yeah, I'll give the D option. Let me look at both the conditions, I mean conclusions, and the options. Yes, it's both 1 and 2 follows. Option E is the right answer. Let's go for a different section now. See, as already I told you about these. Let's solve verbal analogies. You have the first question. Diva, opera, producer theater, director drama, conductor bus, the Spain play. Which among the four is the right one? Yes, option D is the right answer because if you look at the other three options conductor, bus, director, drama, producer, theater it's not. Yes, of course, it is a essential part or one of it, but it is not the analogy behind it, right? So, essential part and analogy are two different things. You should understand the difference between those. The right one is the Spain play is the right option. Next question. Grain, salt. You have got the options. Shed, pottery, shred, wood, blades, grass, chip, glasses or glass. Look at all four options and find the best one. See, if you look at the relationship between those two, I mean, for all the four, blades, glass, chip, glass, blades, grass, chip glass, shred wood, shade pottery. So the right option, I feel it is between C and D. The confusion may occur. But grass, we cut through not typically only the blades though, but the glass will be, the chip is essential part of it. If you look at the relation between grain and salt, so it looks like option D is the right answer. Let's go for the other section of verbal ability. Let's see active voice and passive voice questions. Okay. So the first question, after driving Professor Kumar to the museum, she dropped him at his hotel. Hotel. So let's see. So in active voice and passive voice. So first of all, speech and voice are essential part of any language. Okay. So speech, you have got direct and indirect speech. So similarly, voice, you have got active voice and passive voice. So when it comes to active voice and passive voice, the one thing you should remember always. Okay. So first thing is to identify the object and the subject and the verb. And if a subject is at the performing end, it is active. If a subject is at the receiving end, then it is passive. Okay, that is the basic one. Now let's look at the question. After driving Professor Kumar to the museum, she dropped him at his hotel. After being driven to the museum, Professor Kumar was dropped at his hotel. Professor Kumar was being dropped at his hotel. After she had driven Professor Kumar to the museum, she had dropped him at his hotel. After she was driven Professor Kumar to the museum, she had dropped him at his hotel. So we have got four different options, and I already told you, if a subject is in the receiving end, then it makes the passive voice. So look at the four different options that you have got and identify the verb and the subject. And whenever we have got prepositions in the sentence, so we will be going for the auxiliary verbs. So look at the preposition used there and look at the auxiliary verbs being used. It's actually option A. After being driven to the museum, Professor Kumar was dropped at his hotel. See, this particular sentence, after driving Professor Kumar to the museum, she dropped him at his hotel. So, this is actually reporting about the incident just occurred. Or it is more of like a simple present. When it is converting to the past simple or simple past, was has to be there in the passive voice. So after being driven to the museum, Professor Kumar was dropped at his hotel by so and so, whoever dropped him, right? So option A is the right answer. Let's see the next question. I hope you can solve this. I remember my sister taking me to the museum. I remember my sister taking me to the museum. This is in past tense. So look for the right appropriate one. Just now I explained about auxiliary verbs being used for the passive voice. Let's see what are the options you have typed in. Option B, option C, both. See, I remember being taken to the museum by my sister is the right one. Option B. Who is creating this mess? Who is creating this mess? Look for the right option. So, the right answer for the question who is creating this mess, first of all, this is an active voice. Passive voice, the right answer is by whom is this mess being created? Who has been created this mess? No, it's not the right. By whom has this mess created? By whom has this mess created? No, this mess being created. See, if you look at the question, who is creating this mess? This is a present continuous. The action is not yet completed. So, it has to be by whom is this mess being created, not the past. Okay, let's go for the different section. Any questions, any doubts so far with whatever we have covered? So, reading comprehension is also part of the AMCAT verbal ability. So, you can expect either a 1 or a 2 reading comprehension. So, in this particular question, there will be a paragraph of 6 to 8 lines, sometimes 10 to 12 lines also. The strategy or the tips to follow, I mean, in order to answer these particular questions, of course, reading the questions and the options first rather than reading the entire paragraph. Because if you read the paragraph first, obviously, you will be spending some 1 or 2 minutes there. And then going to read the questions, it will take extra 2 to 4 minutes. So instead doing that, read the questions Register the questions, look for the keywords, then start or try doing the organization of the content. When you try for the organization, right? So definitely there will be certain keywords that you can try making a note of it or keep a track of it, and you can easily answer the questions. So look for keywords, look for year, look for character names, look for author opinion, and after all these, probably you can definitely expect a question on antonyms or synonyms of one particular word used in the paragraph. Okay, so there's one particular question we're trying to solve now. So if you look at the paragraph, it is very simple. It is almost like 6 lines. I felt the wall of the tunnel shiver, the master alarm sequel through my earphones, squeal through my earphones. Almost simultaneously, Jack yelled down to meet. There was a warning light on. Fleeting but spectacular sight snapped to. Give me a minute. So, fleeting but spectacular sight snapped into hands out of view. The snow, the shower of debris, the moon, looming close and big, the dazzling sunshine for once, unfiltered by the layers of air. The last 12 hours before re entry were particular, bone chilling. During this period, I had to go up into the command module, even after the fiery re entry, splashing down in 81-degree water in South Pacific. We could still see a frosty breeze inside the command module. So you have the question. The word command module, used twice in the given passage, indicates perhaps the deals with what? You have got four different options: alarming journey, commanding situation, journey into outer space, a frightful battle. So by looking at the sentence and the usage, I'm sure you will be able to solve this. But let me know if you're not able to understand the meaning. The right answer is journey into outer space. See, if by looking at the sentences like um, 81-degree water in South Pacific and re-entry particular, like if you look at the command module meaning and fiery re-entry, so all this gives out details that it's a journey into outer space. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see the next question with respect to that. Which one of the following reasons would one consider as more as possible for the warning lights to be on? So we saw, right, the warning lights were on. What can be one of the reason for it? You need to look for the answer, the right answer. Let me check if you need to mark attendance. Till the time, just look into both questions. All right. So, with respect to the second question, which one of the following reasons would be considered as? So, the right answer is catastrophe was imminent, as mentioned in the paragraph. The third question, the statement of the dazzling sunshine was, for once, unfiltered by layers of air, means see, the sun was very hot, or there was no strong wind, that the air was unpolluted. No, it's actually for once unfiltered by layers of air is it doesn't mean that the air was unpolluted, isn't it? Or it doesn't mean that there was no strong wind. So ideally, none of the above can be the right answer. I'll paste the attendance link. I request you to just try marking the attendance. Give me a minute. And thank you so much for the session. I'll give the link for practice. We have explained about different sections which are part of AMCAT and entity test both. So typically you can start preparing with respect to these sections that we have already spoken. So it may be verbal ability, quantitative ability, or the logical ability or the logical section. And the essential part, AMCAT defines and defined on basic or the fundamentals of math, reasoning, and analysis. So try solving more number of questions. So definitely it becomes easy for you to get a better number. The score is anything above 450 is a good score, but still try for 550 or 520, something around 600. So it definitely you can easily get through the top companies. So let me check for attendance link. If I get it, I'll paste it. Please mark your attendance and you can leave the session. Thank you so much for the session. Have a good day. Thank you.